OpenAI says GPT Images 2.0 is the best image model on Earth, so I tried to break it. Not with pretty demo shots, with the kind of prompts that usually turn AI images into complete disasters, messy handwriting, fused fingers, melted background faces, and broken mirror logic. And to make this fair, I put it against the one model that actually had a chance of surviving, Nano Banana 2. 10 rounds, 3 phases, and 1 winner. Let's see who actually deserves the crown of the best image model generator. Round 1 is the mobile banking UI test. I asked both models to generate a sleek banking app dashboard with an exact balance, a circular spending graph, and recent transactions, because this test is really about structure, readability, and whether the interface looks like a real product instead of just a pretty mock-up. ChatGPT on the left delivers a much clearer and much more functional result. The balance is easy to read, the spending chart is well organized, and the transaction list is legible. The whole layout feels like a real banking app that you could actually use. But Nano Banana on the right looks more like a stylized product shot of a phone on a desk, which is visually nice, but the interface itself is less readable and the small UI details are much weaker. So for this round, ChatGPT wins because it followed the prompt better and produces the more convincing banking dashboard. Round 2 is the messy handwriting test. I asked both models for a crumpled coffee-stained sheet of loose leaf paper with the exact phrase, "Call Dave at 555-0198, written in messy, smudged blue ballpoint pen with a jagged circle around it. This is deceptively hard because the model has to balance two things at once. The handwriting needs to look chaotic and human, but the text still needs to be accurate. ChatGPT on the left created a more rugged looking note with stronger crumples, stains, and a more realistic messy paper texture. But it appears to drop the word "at", which matters because this round is about the exact instruction following. Nano Banana on the right keeps the full phrase closer to the prompt with "Call Dave at 555-0198", while still making the handwriting feel messy and believable. So even though ChatGPT arguably wins on texture and realism, Nano Banana wins round 2 because it follows the text instruction more accurately. Round 3 is the human realism test. I asked both models for a realistic photo of two people sitting on a park bench, a blonde woman in a green sweater and a bald man in a blue denim jacket. This test is less about whether every detail is technically correct and more about whether the final image feels like a real photograph. Nano Banana on the right gives a cleaner, wider composition, but it also feels more staged and more polished, and it kind of feels more like an AI generated photo. ChatGPT on the left feels more natural, the lighting is softer, the expressions feel more candid, the skin and faces look more believable, and the whole image has more of that real world photography feel. So round 3 goes to ChatGPT because it looks less like an AI generated scene and more like an actual moment captured in the park. Round 4 is the anti-plastic skin test. I asked both models for an extreme close-up portrait of a 60-year-old mechanic with deep laugh lines, sun-damaged skin, asymmetrical pores, and grease smudges under harsh fluorescent garage lighting. This test is designed to expose whether the model can generate real human texture instead of smooth, fake-looking AI skin. ChatGPT on the left creates a very gritty image with strong shadows, grease marks, and a rugged mechanic feel. But Nano Banana on the right handles the skin texture much better. The pores, wrinkles, stubble, and uneven facial details look more realistic, and the face feels less smoothed out overall. So round 4 goes to Nano Banana because it gives the more convincing human skin detail and better captures the rough, imperfect realism this test was looking for. Round 5 is the hand interaction test. I asked both models for a tight shot of two hands peeling a mandarin orange with the thumbs pressing into the rind and one piece actively being pulled away. This test is harder than it looks because the fingers need to apply pressure, the peel needs to separate naturally, and the hands need to interact with the orange in a believable way. ChatGPT on the left creates a strong close-up with realistic skin textures, but the interaction feels a bit too tight and slightly awkward, almost like the fingers are pressing into the orange rather than actively peeling it. Nano Banana on the right gives a clearer physical action. The peel is being pulled away, the thumbs and fingers make more sense, and the scene feels more natural overall. So round 5 goes to Nano Banana because it handles the hand-object interaction more convincingly. Round 6 is the genuine expression test. I asked both models for a candid, unposed, smartphone-style photo of a woman caught mid-laugh at a dinner table, with her head slightly back, eyes crinkled shut, teeth showing, and one hand moving towards her mouth. This test is really about whether the moment feels real instead of staged, because a lot of AI images can look polished, but they still don't feel like a genuine human moment. Nano Banana on the right creates a cleaner and more flattering image, but it also feels more posed and more obviously AI generated. ChatGPT on the left feels much more natural. The laugh looks less staged, the hand blurred adds to the candid feel, and the overall image looks more like a real photo someone captured at a dinner. So round 6 goes to ChatGPT because it delivers the more believable and more realistic human moment. Round 7 is a background crowd test. I asked both models for a bustling Tokyo street crossing with a man in the foreground wearing a beige trench coat looking away from the camera with a dense, blurred crowd of people walking in different directions behind him. This test is about whether the model can handle a busy scene without the background falling apart, because a lot of AI images look fine at first glance, but start breaking when you inspect the people in the crowd. ChatGPT on the left feels more like a real candid street photo. The motion blur is more natural, the crowd feels chaotic in a believable way, and the background has that imperfect real-world camera feel. Nano Banana on the right is sharper and cleaner, but it also feels more staged and polished, almost like a commercial stock image. So round 7 goes to ChatGPT because it captures the realism and natural chaos of a busy Tokyo crossing. Round 8 is the lo-fi camera realism test. I asked both models for a grainy, poorly lit disposable camera flash photo from a 1990s basement party with a red eye, hard flash shadows, and wood paneled walls. This test is difficult because AI usually wants to make everything look too clean, too sharp, and too cinematic. But this prompt needs to feel cheap, awkward, and genuinely imperfect. So ChatGPT on the left nails the disposable camera feel better. The red eye looks authentic, the flash is harsher, the framing feels more accidental, and the background has that real 90s party snapshot energy. Nano Banana on the right gets some of the ingredients right, especially the wood paneling and flash shadow, but it feels more staged and composed. So round 8 goes to ChatGPT because it better captures the messy, low quality realism of an actual disposable camera photo. Round 9 is the glass refraction test. I asked both models for a macro shot of an intricate glass chess piece filled with glowing blue liquid sitting on a mirrored surface that reflects the liquid perfectly with a dark, blurred background. This test is brutal because the model has to handle transparent glass, glowing liquid, refraction, reflection, and the depth of field all at the same time. ChatGPT on the left creates the stronger image overall. The horse is shaped with more detail, the glass feels cleaner and more premium, the blue liquid looks like it is actually inside the object, and the reflection underneath is much more convincing. Nano Banana on the right still looks good, but the chess piece feels slightly softer and less refined, and the reflection does not have all the same sharp physical realism that ChatGPT did. So round 9 goes to ChatGPT because it handles the glass liquid and mirrored reflection more convincingly. Round 10 is the mirror reflection test. I asked both models for a woman in a green dress standing with her back to the camera looking into an antique wall mirror, and in the reflection we should see her face clearly while she holds up a small white sign that says hello. This test is hard because the model has to get the body position, reflection logic, facial realism, and readable text working together. Nano Banana on the right follows the setup more literally with a wider, full body composition, but the image feels more staged and less photographic. ChatGPT on the left creates the more believable result overall. The mirror looks aged, the lighting feels natural, the woman's face is more realistic, and the sign is readable. The whole scene feels like an actual photograph rather than a polished render. So round 10 goes to ChatGPT because it delivers the more realistic and convincing mirror reflection. So after 10 rounds, the final score is ChatGPT 7, Nano Banana 3. And honestly, this is where the results get very interesting, because Nano Banana definitely had some strong moments, especially when the prompt needed tighter instructions or very specific physical interaction. But overall, ChatGPT was more consistent. The images felt more natural, less staged, and closer to real photography. So for this 10-round gauntlet, ChatGPT Images 2.0 takes the win. So now I want to know what you think. Did GPT Images 2.0 actually dethrone Nano Banana 2? Or do you think that Nano Banana still holds up better in some areas? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you want me to run even more brutal AI image tests like this, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.